The Sci-Horror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Sci-Horror Film Podcast. I am Andy Walker. The other face you see on the screen at the moment belongs to my son, Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hello there. I'd like to add, you'd only see me as long as you are watching the video.
Well, that's true, yeah. Well, okay.
Just to confuse everyone that only listens to this.
Well, yeah, but you know, I get confused between ones that aren't and ones that are, and what's going on, and who I am, and where my teeth are, and who's got my feet today, and things like that. So, anyway, we are here to review films as always, and this week we have a cornucopia of science fiction. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why I picked three science fiction films altogether.
Well, I don't know. The last one, it says science fiction, but it's science fiction horror.
Let's debate that when we get to it, shall we?
Right.
So again, two shorts and a long, as we do quite often, not always, but quite often, most of the time, 90% of the time, 98.9% of the time. Do you know that 97.325% of statistics are made up on the spot? Anyway,
sorry, you said that, all I could hear was someone sniggering in the background. They like you drop your coffee.
Right. So the first film, which is a shorter one, is from 2020. I can't speak. 2022, and it is called From Above. It's Ridder Films, which made by Blake Ridder. He is writer, director, cinematographer, and editor. The producer was Lewis James. The cast: Sarah Alexandra Marks and Lewis James. And the synopsis says, have you ever wondered if we are alone in the universe? The answer to that question is yes.
But yes, we're alone, or yes, you've wondered?
No, yes, I've wondered.
Oh.
So what did you think?
We've watched a few of Blake Ridder's films before.
We have.
And I would like to say that all of them have had their very own twist and weird things about them.
Yep.
This one confused the life out of me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a bit odd. The whole thing's a bit odd. The beginning of it is odd, but quite funny.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing is a bit odd. It's interesting, but the thing that gets me is I'm not sure what it was about as such, to be honest. But the thing that gets me is it's like it reminds me of an old joke.
Yeah.
Let me explain. You see this thing heading towards Earth.
Yeah.
And you see what's going on in the flat. Yeah. You see this thing heading towards Earth. You see what's going on in the flat, and then the things that go on in the flat go on in the flat, and this thing's heading towards Earth. And at no point does it ever really say that there's any connection between those two things.
No.
So I don't know if they're connected or not. So they might just be happening at the same time. It might just be two completely separate events that are happening at exactly the same time, and neither of them actually have anything to do with each other.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. It's just the whole thing's bizarre. Like, I get the fact that obviously everyone's got different eating styles and eating habits.
Yeah.
I understand that. Like, obviously, you've got vegans, you've got vegetarians, you've got halal and stuff like that. Yeah, I have never known anyone just to eat a bowl of peas for dinner.
Well, no, but it
I
does.
get the fact that there might be something extraterrestrial about it, but
There's something odd about it because of the fact that they don't remember actually doing.
or flicking them at each other.
Yeah, well, that's the that's. Yeah, I don't know.
It was the intensity of when she dropped the first one
Yeah,
that was that I loved. It's just the intensity. I was like, hang on a minute, is because of the fact the way, like you said, the with the that and the pictures of what was hurtling through space, and I sat there like, is this like someone's angry? They've actually dropped a P, so they've sent an asteroid. Like, okay, but just yeah, the whole thing was very confusing.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, quality-wise, it's brilliant, as his films always are. Well acted, well made. But as I say, I have no idea what it was about really, because it's never really nothing's explained in any way, shape, or form.
No,
Um, and I did find it quite interesting that up until the last couple of minutes of the film, the only dialogue in the film as such is a dog barking.
yeah. I also just yeah, I just also I say I wrote down is the fact there's almost no speech in it other than the last minute, probably not
Yeah,
even that, and it's just so bizarre.
it is odd. I mean, I suppose it's science fiction, but there's nothing to really indicate that anything science fiction
Yeah, yeah, no. The only scientific bit about it is
terrestrial,
just the shots in space.
yeah, anything extraterrestrial has actually gone on. There's no, but it's not a bad film. It's just weird, just odd, and like don't know.
It definitely is one of Blake Riddle films, though. It is the fact that there's
Yeah,
just something odd about it, and at least with the others, we sort of picked it up. But after I think I don't
yeah.
know if I've missed something with this one.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. So I mean, if anyone wants to go out there, anyone out there wants to watch it and tell us what it's about.
Or even if Blake wants to get hold of us and just explain.
As I say, I've been trying to get hold of him to come on the show, but it's harder to get hold of him than it is to knit fog. Um, so there you go. Right. So on to the second film. The second film is again from 2022, and this is called Brothers. It's a film by Chris Sundberg. He was the director and writer. And the cast, the two main characters are Andrew and Michael Pack. And that's the synopsis. Now, this is quite interesting because the short synopsis tells you some things, but there's a longer synopsis which tells you more detail, which actually explains a few things better. But the short synopsis says brothers and best friends, Andrew and Michael, do everything together until an unfortunate accident forces Andrew to decide whether he can live without his closest companion. The main thing that you need to know or need to be aware of that's in the longer synopsis that isn't in the short one is that their father owns a robotics company.
Yeah, I did sort of wonder the
It's
fact that
kind of important to the plot, really.
yeah, is that's a bit more helpful because obviously the only issue you get in the whole film, other than what he builds, is the hats they wear.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So, I mean, I thought it's a very interesting idea, well written, well acted, well made, all that sort of thing. It's a bit odd in a lot of ways. It's awfully convenient that the dad just happens to own a robotics company, and the surviving brother knows how to build and program a robot that said it can be an exact replica of his brother.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting film. It's not bad. It's just, but the twist, I wasn't expecting the twist at the end, I must admit.
No, it was a very weird. I sort of gathered that something was like there was going to be a, I don't know, something bad was going to happen.
And it
Where
was
it,
going to
like
happen.
it
Yeah,
was going to turn or something like that.
yeah,
Like most films where the robot gets replaces someone or built or something, it's sort of
yeah,
they start learning and all that. But yeah, the twist of it was very weird. It's a very hard hitting sort of idea as well to how the whole feeling, how you deal with grief and
yeah.
the sort of that sort of, if you had that opportunity, would you?
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I think it is a really, really interesting idea, and I think it would be great to kind of explore it in a maybe in a slightly different way, in a slightly uh, longer way, I suppose. But yeah, it's good. It's a good quality film, good story, interesting idea. As I say, it's got an interesting twist at the end of it.
Yeah,
You do have to kind of like get over the fact that it's like, oh, okay, hang on. So not only does their dad own the robotics company, but this brother knows how to build, program, and manufacture a robot that not only looks like his brother, but looks exactly identical to his brother.
yeah, and the fact that as well that he's waterproof.
Yeah,
Even though the beforehand he drinks a beer and it shocks him, then he gets um, submerged in a pool and he's fine.
well, I
Um,
can imagine it's like, this thing of trial and error.
yeah. Um, Now, I don't know a lot about robotics. I don't assume to know a lot about it, but I know that mechanical stuff around sand, it doesn't work that well. Even sea and sand, it sort of gets in places.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say I did like the science behind it. I liked like the graphics and the fact that they showed you the sort of the way they went through the sort of uploading of memories.
Mm.
It did make me wonder. The thought across my mind is if you uploaded all the memories, surely the memory of accident would be there.
Yeah, well, I suppose it
The
could deliberately
what led
leave
up to
that
that,
out.
because yeah, but I do like it. It's the same. It's just the fact that I sat there the whole way through going, building a robot. It's not going to end well. It never
No,
does.
no, I know. But I mean, it's an interesting film, and I think it's definitely worth a watch. But it's like, I don't know. Other than being an interesting idea, I don't think it's really. It didn't do much for me.
No, it just I don't know. It just seems I don't know. It just I know that obviously it is fake because of the fact, but it almost seemed too forced,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
especially as they are meant to be brothers in real life. It just
Yeah,
seemed too forced and too sort of artificial.
yeah, I know. I agree. Strange. But there you go. Okay, on to the main feature film. Now, this is a 2014 film called Extraterrestrial. Interesting. Some interesting things about this film. We'll get on to. The director was Colin Minihan. Um, Now he is one half of a group, one half of a company, writing and directing pair called the Vicious Brothers. Now, Colin Minihan, he did a lot of music videos to start off with in his career, including ones for Theory of a Dead Man, Papa Roach, and Carly Rae Jepsen. As far as films go, other than this one, he did Grave Encounters in 2011. It Stains the Sands Red in 2016, which is a great title, and What Keeps You Alive in 2018. Now, the co-writer with Colin Minihan, and this is Stuart Ortiz, who is the other half of the Vicious Brothers, and he was also involved in directing and making Grave Encounters and It Stains the Sands Red and Grave Encounters 2. So yeah, there you go. The cast. We start off with Brittany Allen, who most of the cast have done lots of TV work before this, some of which is horror sci-fi based, but quite often they were only in shows for like 1 or 2 episodes, and they made some TV movies and things like that. So let's see, other than the TV movies and TV shows, Brittany Allen did Dead Before Dawn 3D in 2012. It Stains the Sands Red in 2016, a film called Stillborn in 2017, but she was only a voice in that character. In Control in 2017, Jigsaw in 2017, and What Keeps You Alive in 2018. Then we have Freddie Strober. Now, Freddie Strober did lots of TV things, including Unreal Time After Time, recently Peacemaker, and he was in one episode of Game of Thrones.
Yes. I will say as well, sorry, that mine's gone blank. Brittany Allen was also in the superhero thing that they've done of The Boys with I can't remember his name. With Carl Urban. And she played a part for one of the superheroes in that.
Freddie Strober also did voice for Harry Potter video game, and he was in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2 in 2010, 2011, and a film called After the Dark in 2013. Then what we got? My brain's gone dead. Melanie Papalia. On top of doing other TV shows and that sort of thing, 1 episode and all over the place, she did Super Hybrid in 2010, Smiley in 2011, and The Den in 2013. Jessie Moss, again, did lots of TV shows and movies, single episodes and things like that. Then she was in Ginger Snaps in 2000, Final Destination 3 in 2006, Merlin and the Book of Beasts in 2009, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, 13 Eerie in 2013, Wolf Cop 2014, and Stillborn in 2017. There we got Anja Savcik, whatever. We did lots of TV shows and things again, and was in Tales from the Dark Side in 2015 and In Control in 2017. Then we have Michael Ironside. Now, Michael Ironside, as most of you know, has been in lots of stuff, did lots of TV shows and movies and all sorts of things all over the place. The first big film that I think he did that would in fact affect us was Scanners in 1981. Then he did Surfacing in 1981, Visiting Hours 1982, Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone in 1987. It's a great film. Prom Night 2, 1987, Watchers, 1988, Minefield, 1989, Total Recall, 1990, Highlander 2 in 1991, Starship Troopers in 1997. One of your favourite films, I know.
Yes.
Then we have a bit of a jump. He did, where are we? Heavy Metal 2000 in 2000. That was only a voiceover. Mindstorm in 2021, The Shaft 2021. No, try it again. 2001. Mindstorm and The Shaft 2001. Children of the Corn Revelation in 2001. Soul Keeper 2001, but that was just a voice. Maximum Velocity 2003. Rika in 2005. Mutants in 2008. Terminator Salvation 2009. Desecrated in 2015. Stillborn in 2017, The Covenant in 2018, Helmington in 2018, Bloodthirsty in 2020, and he did a version of Dracula in 2022. So there you go. Been a busy boy. Did a lot of stuff. Very good actor.
He is.
Then we have Gil Bellows, who again did lots of TV shows and movies, was in Snow White, A Tale of Terror in 1997, A Witch's Way of Love in 1997, Black Crescent Moon 2008, House at the End of the Street in 2012. That was a remake of the Wes Craven film. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark in 2019. We have Sean Rogerson, who did TV shows and TV movies. Did Underworld Evolution in 2006, Grave Encounters in 2011, Grave Encounters 2, 2012, Stillborn 2017, and Z in 2019. Emily Perkins was in TV shows and movies, including the original TV miniseries of It. She was in Ginger Snaps in 2000, Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed in 2004, Ginger Snaps Back at the Beginning in 2004, Blood, A Butcher's Tale in 2010. And that's that. We have Mike Kovac, who did lots of short films and TV shows and movies, TV movies and things. But the only real movie he did apart from this, it went to cinema or anything, was called Aztec in 2020. We have Fred Keating, again, did lots of TV shows and movies, TV movies and that. He was in Firebird 2015 AD in 1981. Final Destination in 2000, Dark Water in 2001, The Core in 2003, The Last Mimsy in 2007, and Grave Encounters in 2011. Goes on. Then we have Reese Alexander, again, lots of TV shows, movies, and short films. He did Blood Brothers Reign of Terror in 2007, Far Cry, the movie, in 2008, The Day the Earth Stood Still, 2008, Grave Encounters 2, 2012, Horns in 2013, The Grim Sleeper in 2014, See No Evil 2 in 2014, Dead Rising, Watchtower in 2015, and Freaks in 2018. Ian Brown. Ian Brown did nothing other than this.
Well, maybe he did this and thought that, you know what, my career's peaked, I don't need to do anything.
Yeah. Then we have Jacob Tremblay. He's actually uncredited in this film, but the reason I've included him is because he was in Before I Wake in 2016, Shut In 2016, The Predator in 2018, and Dr. Sleep in 2019.
Yeah.
So he actually went on from this to do some decent stuff. But he has done a lot of TV stuff and things like that. And a voice actor, he actually did the voice for Luca in the film Luca, the cartoon, the animation film Luca. Yeah. And Buddy, the dog, played Krusty, and he's done nothing else either.
Well, to be honest, I don't blame him. After what happened to him in this film,
Absolutely.
he probably sat there with his owners and went, you know what, I ain't doing this again.
No. Right. The synopsis for this film is a lot shorter than that was. And the synopsis says, a group of friends on a weekend trip to a cabin in the woods find themselves terrorized by alien visitors. I would say, for me, you said about this being a sci-fi horror. I personally don't think it could make up its mind what it wanted to be.
No,
it's kind of like a mixture of all lots of films. You've got the kids in the cabin in the woods, you've got the weird local guy knows all about everything, an alien abduction experiment thing, a government conspiracy, a cover-up to keep the aliens happy, a sheriff that believes and a deputy that doesn't. and some of it's like a horror. Some of it actually becomes almost like a found footage film in a couple of
Yeah,
places, and then it's sort of sci-fi because you've got the aliens and you see the spaceships, and then it's just basically like a horror film set in a cabin in the woods, and it just kind of gets a bit confusing after a while because I don't think it made its mind up what it wanted to be.
yeah. I did feel the whole way through watching this the fact that the writers sort of saw a few different films when that'd be really good and threw it all together.
We nail them
It,
all together.
yeah, because I had, like you said, I had feelings like Cabin in the Woods and um, like the conspiracy film, like Blair Witch bits with like the found footage, the Matrix at near the end of it. That sort of feeling when she woke up. I sat and thought, but it's just the bit that made me laugh is I sat there and just near the end of it, just sat there and got to the point where like, no, the conspiracy theorist was right, and
But
there's not
I
many
must
times I could.
admit, what I really thought about this was I thought, well, there's nothing really new or unique going on in this film. Seen it all before, it's all been done, and it's all pretty run of the mill until the last 30 minutes. And then it all just goes completely apeshit and everything goes
Yeah,
full on, and it's just complete like mayhem and action. And
yeah,
then it all stops again. You kind of go,
it's
what happened there?
it's really weird. It's almost like it would have been better if they'd done that as I don't know as a sequel bit. Or so I actually think the way that this film was wrote and thrown out, that it would have been a lot better done as a TV series to have it as the different episodes
Yeah.
because of the fact it just seemed all over the place.
I did think that after the full on action bit, it does become a little bit cliched, to say the least, because after all the action and that is when you get the thing inside the alien spaceship, whatever, or citadel, or whatever the hell they are, wherever the hell they are. And the thing there, first of all, the thing at the end of it is the fact that love saves the day. Da, da, da.
Well,
Well, yeah, hang on. At this bit, I kind of thought,
oh
oh,
yeah,
it
yeah,
must be the end of the film. Love has saved the day,
yeah.
that sort of thing. But the real cliche thing is, after all this time, 2014, did we really need to go for the anal probes?
I wouldn't see. This is the bit I don't understand. Is the fact that they were having the whole conversation with it about that beforehand. It happens, but why did they find the need to engrave something on his stomach first?
I don't know.
Which to me sort of looked like the symbol of the Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter as well. By the way.
Yeah,
But it just, I don't know, just the whole thing about it. But it's just, I love the fact that Michael Ironside just again plays just almost every film I've seen this man in plays the range so well.
yeah. No, I agree. Michael Ironside.
It's almost like every single thing is just wrote for him to do that because he does this. He's an army veteran, or he's a sort of
Yeah.
an armed forces veteran. He's also a sort of drug addict um, farmer.
Oh, yeah. Tons of weed in his. Yeah.
Yeah, who's just hyped up on conspiracy theories.
But it's all the ending of it is just a bit dull and cliched. And the only thing I did think was quite interesting was that there was kind of almost like a nod to the X-Files because of the fact that the guy who the army blokes go to ask what they're going to do next is this guy in like a black suit who's sits, before he answers the question, lights up a cigarette, and
Yeah,
like it's like the smoking man in the X-Files. The effects are pretty good.
yeah. No, so I loved when they're in the middle of the storm and they find the tree
Yeah,
and it all stops, but then it turns around and sees that wall. Obviously, I know how it's done, the wall of rain, but I thought that was so well done.
it was. It was really, I mean, the effects in it all the way through, even the CGI of the aliens, which wasn't brilliant, but it was good.
I've got to admit, the makeup of the arm when he cuffs
Yeah,
himself to a tree, when he handcuffs himself to
that
the
was good.
tree, and I thought the way that that was done was looked amazing.
Was
Like
really
'cause you could see the muscle definition and everything in the arm. I thought was really well done. Did let itself down though when they were trying to make it look like the dog had had an accident and had parts of his guts taken out by the fact that he was just poured on top of him.
Yeah, well,
You could have done that as a bit of a CGI moment, but it's just yeah. I think the aliens let it down a bit,
yeah,
but I did like the fact that it was a bit confusing because it looked like some of the people that were in the cocoons in the ship were being transformed,
yeah. I'm not
and
quite
it's
sure what was happening there.
yeah, it looked really
I
confusing.
must admit, one of my favourite parts of the entire film is actually the bit right at the beginning
Oh, what with the
with the
girl in the police
telephone
box?
box. The
Yeah,
telephone box. That was really well done. I wasn't expecting that at all.
no, it just I don't know, it just there are parts of it I really liked. Like there were parts of it that I sat there and looked at, but really,
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, I mean I think on the whole it wasn't a bad film. It was a pretty good film. There were some good parts to it. There were some really good bits to it.
yeah.
And it was better than I thought it would be, to be honest.
Mm.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But it did have this problem, as I say, for me all the way through of like, I don't think it really, they quite worked out what they wanted it to be. Whether they wanted it to be a horror film or a sci-fi film, and it never really satisfied you either way.
No, it seemed like sadly it just seemed all over the place with it, really, and with almost like with different ideas thrown at them for doing different bits. Like I said, the found footage films, the like horror, the cabin in the woods bit, and then in the ship. It seemed like it was sort of three different films almost thrown together.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It's quite it's not it's not a rubbish film. It's not a film that I could say, oh, I'm really disappointed I watched it.
No,
But it's got its problems, but it's all right. I've seen much worse films.
yeah,
I mean, it's not a bad silly little film if and to be honest, the science involved in this, what little there is of it, actually makes a hell of a lot more sense than it does in Moonfall. So,
oh wow, I love the sly little things you keep throwing with it. I just yeah, I say it's a good film. I wouldn't say enjoyed watching it. I'm glad I've watched it because I'm saying I love Michael Ironside. I think he's
yeah,
an amazing actor. Um, there were parts of it I did like, but
yeah,
there were too many parts that I didn't like to make it worth my while. If you know what I mean.
yeah.
If I had this the option to watch this or something else, I probably would watch something else. But
It's
if it was on, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It wouldn't stop me from watching it.
it's all right. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say I'd go out of my way to watch it again.
No, but if it was on,
Yeah,
like if it was on, like so, I was flicking through the channels late at night and it was on, then yeah, I'd watch it.
yeah,
But I wouldn't go out of my way to watch
no, no, I agree. So there we go. I've got an itchy leg. Just thought I'd tell everyone. And people may wonder why I've been leaning over and uh, is she watching the video? So there we go. That was that and 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 that. And that. We've had some interviews and things lately, and we have some more and things going on and coming up and down and in and out. I don't know what I'm talking about now. So yeah, next week we've got an interview with Daniel Actrill and Lewis Taylor, who Lewis Taylor was the guy who did Dull. And I'm talking to them about the Haunted Heist, which is the companion film to the Haunted Hall, which was on the Romford Film Festival. Yeah. And then after that, we've got two specials. Two specials.
it. Yeah.
Where we have films and their direct sequels.
Yes.
So that will be interesting. I
Well,
suppose.
hopefully it'll be
Hopefully it'll be interesting. Well, the second one will be. The first one I'm not overly sure about. I don't hold out much hope for the first one, but that's just me. I'm always the pessimist, you know me. I know I will enjoy the second one because I've already seen those films before. So, anyway, so there you go. 3 science fiction films that are all kind of like okay. I wouldn't say any of them were super fantastic, wonderful. The Blake Riddle one is probably it's definitely worth a watch. Brothers, probably, possibly, maybe, and Extraterrestrial, yeah, it's all right. So take half an hour for basically just turn around and go, well, the first one was okay, second one was right-ish, and the third one was all right.
You wonder why. I wonder why we don't get asked to criticise a lot of films. We sit there and go, "Yeah, it was all right."
We get asked.
Yeah, well,
Asked for some people, yeah, and so you know. Anyway, thank you very much for joining in the hullabaloo for a flimfning and folder roll and all that kind of stuff. Scott?
that's okay. Thank you for letting me be part of the madness, I suppose.
As if I had a choice. And thank you all to everyone. Thank you all to everyone. Thank you to everyone and anyone who is listening, watching, feeling, if you're receiving this in Braille. If not, then maybe. And so, yes, for all of those people out there who are listening in, I don't know what I was going to say then. That ran away from me. That thing.
I think the whole conversation about receiving it in Braille just threw you completely.
I don't know. So thank you very much anyway for everyone and to everyone. And my leg is really itching. I think I must have been bitten by something, like a crocodile or something. I bloody feel of it. Anyway, thank you very much, and we will be back again with you another day to do more of that kind of like stuff that we do, and chomping of the lips with some nonsense coming out the other side. And there you go. Thank you very much, and off we jolly well trot. Bye.
Bye.
The Sci-Fi Film Podcast.